Okay, last we left off, I had just done the high-res texture upgrade, going from 64 by 64 resolution to 512 by 512 resolution, and that was a hell of an upgrade, as well as the 3D text slash, what are they called? 2D sprites. However, now we have even bigger news. Big. So, for a very long time, in fact, since the inception of the engine, I had been passing an array to the shader, which is, from what I'm gathering now, a big no-no. I didn't know that at the time, considering I've only been practicing OpenGL about, 2 months now? And blah, 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 blah. Turns out that on my graphics card, a 4060 Ti, the maximum size of an array that you can pass to the shader is 256. Now, if all I can put is 256 objects into a list and pass their positions to the shader, then what happens to object 257? Well, it just kind of doesn't. It doesn't do anything. It stays at 000 because that's the initialized value. This was obviously a problem. 256 objects in a scene is, it's dog shit. I mean, there's no other way around it. Now, going even further, when I started adding on other things like the lighting model, which we'll get to in a minute, you started getting more and more complex information being sent to the shader. Well, it only has so much data that you can pass at any given time. So it kept reducing the size of the array that I could send to the shader until it got all the way to the absolute worst point of about 100 objects, which if you thought 256 was dog shit, I mean, this is just piss poor. Oh, wow. The S's on piss really spike the audio graph over there on Audacity. Now, because of that, we overhauled the shader system, the way we put all the information into the vertex buffer stream, and we have gotten rid of the arrays. It was just a brutal, gruesome overhaul on the engine, but we got through it. It took about 2 days. And that was, at that point, I was like, I don't want to make a YouTube video for a little bit. Like, I don't even want to look at my code, yada, yada, yada. It was just, man, I did not want to. Now, since we got the object limit sorted out and we are no longer passing arrays to the shader, it really lessened the amount of data we were passing at any given time to it. So we were like, okay, we can get some complex lighting here. We can get a nice blend-fong reflection on the fore. We can do all sorts of pretty lighting and stuff. And then you start doing it, and it runs fine on my 4060, but you run it on my laptop. Oh, it was chugging. The FPS was not great. Where'd my notes go? So we scrapped the Fong model, the blend-fong lighting model, in favor of just a normal attenuation-based one, a distance, like a linear-based fall-off, which, I mean, that's kind of how light works anyways. It's a close enough approximation for me and the engine. After that, I hated the editor tools. Like, they needed an update. I couldn't access many of the variables through it, so, I threw in a little bit of IMGI to change the color of the light, the brightness, all sorts of variables like is floor, is rotating, is, stuff like that. And that's pretty much that. That one's not really too exciting, but it was exciting for me because I'm the one who has to use it. I mean, really, truly. After that, I was playing Borderlands. I got the Pandora's box on Steam with all the Borderlands games. And you go around and you see the infamous outhouse you get weapons from that says, "Do cut, no fapping." And I, being someone who's making an engine, looked at that and went, oh, how nice. Graffiti. How would one do that? And when I really broke it down, it's a 2D texture you just place on something else, just like anything else, right? You just make it smaller, rotate it, write some funny words on it. There you go. You got graffiti. So now I have random graffiti around the submarine or ship, whatever the hell it is, and a new way to do that. Really, it just goes off the same method as the 2D sprites that we left off last time. And lastly, to fix another naive mistake from when I first made the engine, we can now import more than the first primitive and first mesh of a model from a GLTF file. Originally, it's like, well, I didn't really need more than that. You can get a lot done just loading the first mesh, but you can't use anybody else's GLTF files, that's for sure. And you can't do anything fun in Blender either. You really just have to extrude every single face and manipulate it into exactly what you want, which doesn't give you pretty results a lot of the time. And I mean, I'm going for like a Deep Rock Galactic low poly kind of feel, but it doesn't look great. So I've updated my load GLTF method that loads the data from Blender objects into my engine, and now more than one mesh per object. They even all act as the same one. It generates the box collider for all of them together. It's a pretty good deal. And as always, I can just disable I can toggle the isMesh variable, and it will go off mesh collision, and I've told it to ignore any that aren't floor and mesh, so it'll just ignore it. I know this has been a different format of Devlog. It's more of just me rambling into a microphone with notes in front of me, but I guess it had to be a different format. It's been a month since I made a video. But that's about it. Bye.